What first made you interested in your field of work and why? And could you always see yourself doing the work that you're involved in today?
That what first got me interested in this was probably the Vietnam War on television. That was pretty scary. I was a pretty little kid, and back then they actually showed the shooting and the death and the body bags and all that stuff. I mean, the military-industrial complex hadn't figured out that wasn't a very good idea. I was in junior high, and there was something called the moratorium, because they had found out that a year before Nixon had started bombing Cambodia illegally, and there was a huge. Everybody freaked out, because it was unapproved. You can't just go in and bomb North Vietnamese soldiers in another country just because you feel like it. And people were furious, and my mother was one of them. So I actually got involved in some protests in junior high. Like, we decided we needed to take down the flag. So we did. We took the flag down, and it almost hit the ground, and we had to go sit in the principal's office.
So Occupy, the Wall Street movement, has like their own list of demands on the website.
From New York.
For corporations and the government.
Sure.
What are like your list of demands personally? Like, what are you fighting to change?
To me, it's not about what we demand, it's about how we decide what we demand. And then whatever we demand is going to be fine. And the way we do it, I think, is get every buy-in from everybody. All the stakeholders. It's really more on us. That I demand that we get together and decide together what we should be doing. With hyper democracy. Nobody has any power, because the people who've got most of the money, the people who have billions of dollars, if there's 1% of the people on the planet have got something like 60% of the world's wealth, they've also got 60% of the world's power. You put people in a circle and say, everyone here in this room is equal, and people will just go, wow! They go crazy, they're so happy, and they're so scared, and they act like idiots, and they act like powerful, and they all want to get involved, and everything happens all at once, and that's what the Occupy movement is about. You get together, everybody, you say, look, this is a family, we have equal power, let's do it together, and you get just, we go back to the way we were. These growing pains because we haven't done it, and the whole culture is, built so those people get all the power. And so society is filled with rape, There's an incredible, there's two kinds of culture. I didn't get to say this in class. There's consent, and the opposite of consent, which is non-consent, which is the same as rape. So we have a rape culture. We live in a rape culture, and a lot of people in this culture have been raped. They've been, just not having your fair share of the power and wealth on the planet, that's a kind of rape, because you didn't consent to it. The only thing I would consent to, would be that I have 1/7 billionth of the wealth and power on the planet. You just have to distribute everything equally. You have to. Anything else is retarded. It's just nuts. And if you do that, you've got no more war, you've got no more pollution, you've got no more unnecessary death, you've got no more rape, you've got no more loneliness, you've got no more all your mental illnesses basically are going to be gone. If you're really interested in social work, don't do this kind of social work that's about putting Band-Aids. Mm-hmm. That's about, going to the river where there's pollution upstream and pulling the bodies out. That's crap. That's not good social work. That's putting Band-Aids on cancer. Don't do that. Fix the problem. Go upstream where the factory is and stop it from polluting the river. If you're doing anything besides that, you should quit. You should be fired. You're not doing your job. You have to quit, and you have to be, you need to start fix the problem. Just fix it. People are going to die. There's a trillion generations, potentially, in this sector of the solar system. We're making decisions right now for all that trillion generations. I actually did the math. I mean, it's a crazy amount of potential that, until the universe sort of dissipates or goes back into another Big Bang, is at least a trillion generations. We're making decisions for them. We can only make the very best decision for their survival. Any other decision is completely unethical. Every single one of us is worse than Hitler cubed if we make a decision that in any way stops them from surviving. So social work needs to be about stopping that from happening and making sure it doesn't happen. Any other kind of social work is just nonsense. Grow up. Be serious. It's like a train is going off a cliff, and we're on the train, and 2/3 of the people on that train are already dead. They're off the cliff. They're not dead yet, but they're on their way, falling down, and we're on the rest of the train, and we're heading to it, and we're on the track, and we can't get off, right? Because you can't get off the earth. You've got to somehow turn the train, disconnect it, and turn it. It's a big job. But anything else is stupid.